I'm always gonna love you.
I'm always gonna love you too.
Greetings, guest. Welcome to the Patriarchy, where we explore cinema classics fueled by predictive Hollywood programming and unpack how our favorite characters in cinema got egg all over their faces. I am your commentator, Dom, and tonight we're unpacking
La La Land.
La La Land is a masterpiece. It's hands down one of my favorite films born out of the mid-2010s. And for those who are unfamiliar or need a refresher, La La Land came out in 2016, classified as an American musical romantic comedy drama, written and directed by Damien Chazelle, starring Emma Stone and Ryan Gosling. Its plot centers around two young adults trying to realize their dreams in the city of dreams, Los Angeles, and we, the audience, watch the semi-complicated drama of their love story unfold along the way. I say semi-complicated because it wasn't all that complicated. It's something that literally anyone who's ever had a significant other has encountered, and that's watching two characters deal with the prioritization, or maybe a better term is balance, of personal romantic relationships and work, or the building of a dream. It's a simple plot, elevated by an excellent musical score and gorgeous city cinematography and backdrops of LA, which is why I love this movie so much. It's just so visually and artistically stunning. But here is why I think more love stories must end the way in which La La Land did.
I'm always gonna love you.
I'm always gonna love you too.
But first, a reminder of the plot. Struggling actress Mia, played by Emma Stone, and struggling musician Sebastian, played by Ryan Gosling, have a few very rude and unpleasant encounters with each other prior to their first actual in-person conversation.
All right, I remember you. And I'll admit I was a little curt that night.
Kurt?
Worth noting here that it is Sebastian who's rude to Mia twice before she sees him at a day party and requests the band that he's playing in to play the song I Ran as playback.
I Ran, a fantastic suggestion. All right, piano man, tickle those ivories.
These two have another rude exchange, and then he helps her find her car, with both of them exclaiming via song, "There's absolutely nothing here, and what a waste of a lovely night."
What a waste of a lovely night.
Well, wasn't that much of a waste, as Sebastian decides to pursue her. He shows up at the coffee shop she works at. She shows him around. The two have an undeniable draw to each other as they share their passions and dreams, so much so that Mia ends up ditching her boyfriend for him. Now, although these two started off rocky with a multitude of nasty exchanges, they encourage each other to live out their dreams, helping, suggesting, and inspiring each other to realize their fullest artistic potential.
When you get this, you gotta give it everything you got. It's your dream.
Classic juxtapositions are placed within the film for tension. Sebastian, although it's not his dream, does find a lot of success as a pianist in a popular band, while Mia continues to struggle in her acting career. And things are further compounded as Sebastian tours with the new band, more and more driving them further apart.
Yeah, well,
You always said Keith is the worst, and now you're going to be on tour with him for years, so I just didn't
I don't know, what are you doing
know
right
if
now?
you were happy.
Why are you doing that?
In fact, she becomes so downtrodden after only a handful of people show up at her one-woman show that she moves back to Boulder City because she's just tired of embarrassing herself. Another thing that I love about this movie is the message of overcoming disappointment and pushing through, because right around the corner could be what catapults you into success. Remember that message. And this was true for Mia. She only needed one person who happened to be at her show to give her the break that she needed. And this is where we come to that fork in the road. Mia is offered a big role which would require her to go to Paris. Sebastian has his own dream of opening a jazz club in LA, and instead of forcing it and forcing a way to be together, they just let it be.
What do we do?
I don't think we can do anything.
No drama, no sacrifice, just let's continue to fill our own cups, realize our own dreams, and we'll see what happens between the two of us. Now you know that this is a very unorthodox ending for a love story.
Would you just stay with me?
So what?
So it's not gonna be easy. It's gonna be really hard. And we're gonna have to work at this every day, but I wanna do that because I want you. I want all of you, forever. You and me, every day.
And they don't end up together either. 5 years later, she's married with a toddler and he's seemingly alone. In most love stories, rom-coms, dramas, we don't get this ending. We get the ending where the couple moves mountains to be together because love conquers all.
But don't you take the easy way out.
What easy way? There is no easy way. No matter what I do, somebody gets hurt.
We don't get the I'm not going to force this to fit and it's still going to be okay ending. And we need more of that. Rom-coms typically have some level of sacrifice, and where there's sacrifice, there's struggle. We've been conditioned to think that all great loves come with a little sacrifice. Whether it's sacrificing your career, an example of this is seen in Baby Boom, where Diane Keaton's character builds a successful gourmet applesauce empire and has the multi-million-dollar opportunity to get nationwide distribution and move back to the city, which she loves, and she relinquishes it all to go back to Vermont to be with Jeff, the veterinarian that she just met.
I think I'm gonna have to pass.
Or the sacrifice by moving from where you live. Remember on Sex and the City when Carrie left her job and her life in New York to move to Paris with her artist boyfriend, Alexander Petrovsky.
I had a life in New York. I had a job and friends, and I didn't give all of that up to come here and wander the streets of Paris alone.
Or Coming to America, where Lisa leaves New York and her family to be the princess of Zamunda with a king. Okay, I probably would have done that one. Or sacrificing your identity. I just outlined this on my review of Breakfast at Tiffany's.
What do you want?
But this is also seen in She's All That, Teen Witch, Grease, Crybaby. Sacrificing your dignity. Please watch my review of You've Got Mail. And then there's sacrificing your lifestyle. I mean, I could go on and on. I'm not saying that it never happens, but how many stories end without either party having to sacrifice anything at all? I guess one could look at it as the quote-unquote love or the love of the person that you're sacrificing. But in real life, wouldn't making any sort of sacrifice for the person just end in some sort of resentment anyway?
And I didn't give all of that up to come here and wander the streets of Paris alone.
The ending of La La Land was beautiful. I cry every time that montage of what their life could have been rolls. The audience gets a glimpse into what could have happened, and that's enough. No words are exchanged between the two, just a glance, a meaningful glance, and unspoken words of, I'll always remember the impact that you had on my life, and I'll always love you for it. And I'd love to see more messaging in movies and shows where relationships cease without the melodrama and the theatrics, where love and life can continue to go on without huge sacrifices being made by anyone, and where we can acknowledge the impacts that people have on our lives, always love them for it, and leave that love where it belongs in the past. Let me know your thoughts on La La Land, its ending, and whether or not you thought that Mia and Sebastian should have had a happily ever after ending. And as always, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe if you've enjoyed the content. Signing off now, your friend, Dom.